Bandits raid Niger community days after military withdrawal. Tragedy strikes Borno Highway. 5 civilian JTF members feared dead, others wounded. PDP wins all 33 local government areas in Oyo Council poll. And finally, on the international scene, Hamas delegation to visit Cairo on Monday for Gaza ceasefire talks. Many thanks for joining us on the News Hour on Trust TV. I'm Sagir Ibrahim. 3 days after the withdrawal of soldiers from Alawa community in Chiroro local government area of Niger State, residents reported a bandit invasion with the assailants stealing foodstuffs and goats that were left behind. Yahuza Alawa, one of the residents, confirmed the invasion via telephone, stating that bandits entered Alawa and nearby communities on Sunday morning, looting foodstuffs, valuables and domestic animals. Residents from several affected communities, including Alawa, Saminaka, Jaira Mia, Ungwan, Sarkinoma and Kurmi, have fled to the Central Primary School in Erina for refuge since Thursday. However, life in the makeshift camp has been challenging due to hunger and limited sleeping space. According to reports, some residents who returned home from the internally displaced persons camp to fetch food were forced to flee again upon discovering the bandits' incursion. The bandits allegedly used trucks to transport the stolen goods, loading them at riverside locations inaccessible by vehicles. Residents have appealed to the federal and state governments for urgent intervention, citing the dire humanitarian situation faced by women and children in particular. And earlier on the news update, I spoke with Daily Trust and Trust TV's correspondent in Niger State, Abubakar Akote, who gave this update.
The update currently, although the today's invasion, there was no loss of life because residents were not living in their communities. But some of them left, according to some of them who spoke, some left to go and get some food stuff because they were not able to move their foodstuff to IDP camp, and then discover and they had a counter with bandits who were in the process stealing some of their products, including livestock, animals, dogs, and other things that they were not able to move. Currently, we have dozens of them in Erina, at the Central Primary School Erina. And they said the primary school does not have enough space to accommodate there. Some of them are living in open spaces, while some have relations in Erina sporting with them. Then the other challenge they also told me they also face is that of hunger, where they have no access to their food. They are not able to move their food stuff down to Erina. And then their intervention is not forthcoming from either individuals or government to alleviate their suffering.
All right, Akoche, since the military withdrew from the Alawa community a few days ago, has there been the presence of any other security agency aside the military, say maybe the police, maybe the Nigerian Civil Defense Corps, or probably anybody in uniform who could guarantee safety to these residents?
There's no any security operatives in the area. What the local government chairman actually Okuta said a day that military left was that the only thing the local government was able to do was to mobilize some vigilantes to accompany to go to village and then escort the fleeing villagers to area to avoid any form of attack on their way. And then that's the whole they have done. Although he say he has reported to the higher authorities on intervention, but that intervention residents say has not come to them. Currently, there's no security presence in Alawa and other communities there, as in the military left. It has been the military camp there who are working in collaboration with local vigilantes all this while. As is the left, the vigilantes who have no any form of power to stay there to withstand the firepower of the bandits or the terrorists that the local authorities say they are attacking them.
Okay, so Akote, the local government chairman has had to resort to employing the services of local vigilantes to be able to access some of these areas. However, has there been any word from the state government? Did the local government chairman give any indication that he was going to report the situation in Shiroro local government to say the state governor for further action?
That has been the most worrisome aspect of the whole thing. Aside confirmation from the Commissioner for Homeland Security for the withdrawal of soldiers, which he said was not meant to leave the airport to re-strategize to return with full force to fight the bandits and terrorists in the state. State government has not issued any official statement, and the spokespersons to the governor have refused to speak on the matter. I've tried several times also to speak to CPS. The first time I called him, he said he has no adequate detail to speak on the matter. And the Commissioner for Homeland Security also said that it's not everything that the government will unveil or reveal to members of public as far as the issue of security is concerned. So for now, there's no any official statement from the state government. And the local government too has also said that he has reported to higher authority, which is local, state, and the federal. From state, now the state governor can further report to federal government for intervention. So the residents are waiting for that intervention to come from wherever it will come from. But for now, the IDP camps, they have no access to any form of security to return to their ancestral homes.
And several civilian joint task force members were killed and others injured by landmines along the Maiduguri-Gambarungala highway in Dikwa local government area of Borno State. The incident, which occurred around Gajibo village at approximately 12:30 p.m. on Saturday, was attributed to suspected Boko Haram insurgents. According to a security source, at least 5 people lost their lives and several others were seriously injured in the explosion. A senior CJTF commander confirmed the attack, stating that they were on patrol when they inadvertently triggered the explosives near Gajibo village. The Nigerian Army has not yet issued a statement regarding the incident. And the Plateau State Police Command has apprehended an individual for extorting ransom from a potential kidnapping victim in Jos, the Plateau State capital. The suspect, identified as Suleiman Adamu Garba, collaborated with another individual named Adamu Langai, who is currently on the run. They coerced their victim into paying them 1 million naira under the threat of abduction. Upon receiving the money, the victim reported the incident to the police, leading to the arrest of Garba. Investigations are ongoing to capture Langai. Additionally, the police also captured suspects involved in armed robbery, court activities, and sexual assault. Notably, the police intervened in an incident where armed assailants attacked individuals repairing a motorcycle, resulting in 1 fatality. Suspects related to this incident have been detained for further investigation. Now, a divisive debate is underway in Plateau State regarding the establishment of state police across all of the 36 states of Nigeria. And while some members of the community support the idea, citing its potential benefits, others are opposed, expressing concerns about the state's ethno-religious divisions. Trust TV's Ado Musa completes the report.
The demand for establishment of state police nationwide has surged amid the escalating security issues plaguing communities in recent times, with many viewing it as a potential solution to the country's insecurity challenges. A national dialogue titled Pathway to Peace, Reimagining Policing in Nigeria, organized by the House of Representatives in collaboration with the Policy, Legislative and Advocacy Center and the United Nations Development Program in Abuja on Wednesday, aimed to address these concerns. However, among residents of Plateau, the dialogue has stirred differing opinions regarding the acceptance or rejection of various speakers at the event.
Politicians are influencing decision making when it comes to action. So if you now allow this security to be in the hand of the state government, by the time a particular local government or senatorial district decide to go against his will during campaign, if there are issues, he will abandon and say, after all, they didn't vote for me.
I support the idea of state policing because when you consider the current security situation in the country, you find out that the security network generally is porous.
If we must have state police, let us checkmate our sectionalism, our tribalism, our ethnicity and religiosity. That sometimes I have once been to the south. Even when I called my name Reverend John Adaji, they say, oh, hey, this one on your house. They even call me Boko Haram outrightly. Some of them have never been to the north. Okay, in such a scenario, what if I was in a police station there owned by the state? You could see that it will be a terrible situation for me.
The Plateau Initiative for Development and Advancement of the Natives representing various ethnic groups and the Jesawa Community Development Association have submitted independent proposals to the National Assembly regarding the establishment of the state police. This development suggests a shift in the debate, with different community groups advocating for the interests of their respective constituents in relation to the proposal.
You know, there are always problems with people that are posted to areas that they don't know the terrain. But when you have people that are vast in knowledge of the area they provide security for, in fact, you will achieve maximum input. And so the issue of community policing is a welcome idea. In fact, we in PDAN welcome it. We had even made a submission in respect to that issue.
We clearly are against state police for the reason that it has to do with peaceful coexistence and well-being of citizens. And in a situation whereby citizenship is merely theoretical in Nigeria, the practical aspect of it in terms of rights, privileges, and responsibilities are always on the abuse. So when you talk of state police, it means it will further, expand the areas of abuse and the opportunities for abuse by political leaders, tribal and ethnic leaders who happen to be in authority. There are states that clearly you know very well that issue of citizenship and settlers has not clearly been addressed.
While PDAN asserts that the establishment of the state police will not be utilized against any particular community, members of the Muslim community express concerns that it could potentially be used against them.
As sincerely speaking, that fear is there. But I want to allay the fears of those people that have this feeling. Because I know, for example, in this state, before you constitute the group, the community leaders, the traditional council, the stakeholders will be deeply involved. There will be people of integrity, people of tested character, not just anybody that can be intimidated. In fact, if you know the type of vigilante that we have, you will know that if we have community policing, there will be no problem as people envisage.
Presently, in most of the states, we have some local security outfits that are manned by the state governments. You find that they are not really inclusive. They are more or less restricted to certain ethnic groups who are recruited in it. And then, of course, when you see that not everybody is carried along, there is no hope that it will address the issues that are currently pervading the states in terms of security. In fact, most of them, they have to look at what is happening. Again, it might likely be armed. How do you allow arms to be handled by such groups?
The debate over whether to create state police has sparked heated argument among Nigerians. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
There you have it, Nigerians' take on the creation of state police. Moving on, the Delta State Police confirmed the death of a suspected kidnapper and the successful rescue of kidnapped victims alongside the recovery of an AK-47 rifle and 11 rounds of 7.62mm ammunition in Okunu, Orogun, near the Abraka area of the state. In addition, law enforcement authorities disclosed the arrest of an armed robbery suspect and a cultist, coupled with the retrieval of an English-made Beretta pistol and a locally made double-barrel pistol. This information was relayed in a statement on Sunday, signed and disseminated to journalists in Asaba by the State Public Relations Officer, PPRO SP Bright Edafe. Swiftly, the DPO mobilized police operatives alongside members of the Abraka Vigilante and Hunters Group, launching an operation into the area. A confrontation ensued with the suspected kidnappers, resulting in one suspect sustaining serious gunshot injuries while others managed to escape. During the operation, an AK-47 rifle and 11 rounds of 7.62mm ammunition were recovered. The two kidnapped victims were successfully rescued unharmed and have since been reunited with their families. Regrettably, the injured suspect succumbed to his injuries while undergoing medical treatment. A manhunt for the remaining suspects is currently underway. And water scarcity has turned Kano into a city where water is as valuable as gold, with water vendors dominating the streets and capitalizing on the shortage to make significant profits. Now, according to Salim Ibrahim's report, a jerry can of water is being sold for 120 naira in many areas affected by the scarcity. Take a look.
Intense water scarcity and hike in cost is currently subjecting several residents to untold hardship across the metropolitan areas of Kano State. This issue is keeping many on their toes as they can't afford to sleep with their two eyes closed without filling up their reservoirs. Water is now gold in the eyes of the average common man, at a time many are struggling to feed at least 2 times a day. Many residents said they often wake up or rather stays awake for as late as 3 a.m. to fetch water for use the following day in their homes. Going into the nooks and crannies of the state during morning and evening hours, all that could get the attention of a visitor is nothing but the sight of water vendors pushing their carts on either of the lanes in an attempt to deliver water to residents and business places. Looking into the problem, it was gathered that the absence of electricity supply coupled with the hike in the price of fuel are major factors that yield to the challenges faced by the people in the state as far as getting water is concerned.
Actually, we are having problems because before getting the water, we must wake up around 3 a.m. to join the queue. And even at this time, we are not sure of getting the water. We want the government to look at the situation and bring solutions. We are really facing difficulties.
However, it is all business for water vendors in the state. They are also lamenting over the development, which according to them, has increased to their plight and get on their relationships with their customers. This place is one of the well-known water vendors' sites, sitting right in the heart of the city, Kofar Nasarawa. This site, for years, has served as a water collection center for many venturing into the business, and even individual businesses having not less than 15 pumps working non-stop. This water is provided by the government, pumped and pushed down from the Chalawa water area of the state. This collection center has at least 200 water vendors doing business every day, with most of them being able to do 3 to 5 trips a day, paying 200 naira to fill up their carts per trip. Speaking about their orders, Saidu Muazu, a water vendor, lamented that it only takes deep understanding between them and their customers to maintain their existing relationships.
We know how difficult it was interacting with people in the town. Actually, there was mutual respect between us and our customers. But currently, we can't maintain it because life has changed. Our customers are criticizing us if we sell 25 liters to them at the rate of 100 naira. And if we don't sell it at this price, we can't survive.
On his part, the chairman of the center, Abubakar Ali, also lamented over the availability of the water, which according to him, contributed to the plight of the residents.
The issue is unavailability of the water since before Ramadan, and the problem persists up to now. But we thank God as the water is now running gradually but not like before.
Owing to the development, the Commissioner for Water Resources, Ali Mokoda, while speaking with journalists, said the state government spends about 1.2 billion naira monthly to provide potable drinking water in the metropolis. He therefore charged residents to be patient enough as challenges will soon be over. Salim Umar Ibrahim, reporting for Trust TV.
Well, there you have it, updates on the water scarcity in Kano State. Elsewhere, persistent poor electricity supply in Jigawa State has severely impacted small businesses like welding and saloon operators, causing significant losses, hindering economic growth. Ali Rabiu sends in this report as presented from our studios.
Rabiu Abdulrazak, a welder in Dutse, expressed the challenges he faces in managing his life during this period of economic hardship, particularly due to the lack of consistent electricity supply. He emphasized that he cannot effectively work without electricity and highlighted how customers often pressure them when work is delayed due to inadequate power supply. Abdrazak says the new electricity tariff has significantly impacted their business, noting that the same amount of money spent on electricity units now lasts for only a few hours compared to previous years.
Babu da riba an babu wuta, saboda yanzu suka kawo wuta misali karfe 7 zuwa karfe 10 na safe.
Due to the power shortage, we are forced to sleep early as there is no electricity supply. Using a generator is not a viable option as diesel is expensive and it's not profitable for us. The electricity supply is erratic, with power usually coming on at 7 a.m. and going off by 10 a.m., only to return in the evening. This leaves us with no choice but to sleep due to the heat, especially during this time of the year. Sometimes we eat, sometimes we go without food because work is not always consistent. The recent hike in electricity bills has made things even more challenging.
Barbers in the state are feeling the strain, as Ibrahim Ahmad, a barber in Takur side, Duze, expressed the difficulties they face due to the current situation. Ahmad stated that life is challenging because they rely on public electricity supply to operate their equipment, all of which require electricity. However, with electricity in short supply, they are unable to work efficiently, adding to their struggles during this period.
In the morning, we sometimes use rechargeable clippers for barbing, but at night, we often relax because of the unstable power supply. Unfortunately, petrol is very expensive, making it unaffordable for us. Last year, we benefited more than we are this time around, as everything was cheaper than back.
Yusha Nasiru said the situation is not only affecting the businesses, but also the local economy. Many people are stranded without. Nasiru, a 24-year-old tailor in Takur site, Duze, said working without electricity is not profitable for tailors because sewing machines consume energy.
Despite the challenges, we are managing to work, but the lack of power supply is a significant obstacle. We can't afford to buy petrol, which is very expensive, and our work suffers as a result. Without power, our work is imperfect, and we are often left sitting idle, leading to problems with customers and a loss of business. The recent hike in electricity units has made it difficult for us to use our generator. Life is no longer as easy as it used to be, and everything has become very expensive. We urge the government to take necessary action to address these issues.
The small business operators urge the government at all levels in Jigawa to address the poor electricity supply problem to support the growth and sustainability of welding and barbers businesses in the state. Experts believe businesses may need to rely on alternative power sources like generators, which are usually expensive to run but have become more reliable over the years as number one power sources.
Meanwhile, the governor of Borno State has officially inaugurated a 21-member Hajj committee for the upcoming 2024 Hajj pilgrimage to Mecca. Senator Kakashe, who will chair the committee, which was inaugurated at the Government House Chambers in Maiduguri over the weekend. Governor Babagana Zulum emphasized the importance of the committee's dedication in meeting the expectations of the pilgrims. He also pledged to enhance the welfare of the pilgrims, announcing plans to transform the Pilgrim Welfare Board into a commission to alleviate the financial burden associated with pilgrimage activities. In response, Chairman Kakashehu assured the governor of the committee's commitment to fulfilling its responsibilities with outstanding results.
Your Excellency, sir, Hajj is an act of worship, and it is also an act of sacrifice. Listening to the inaugural speech with rapt attention, where you did not only charge us but read the other act to the committee. I want to assure you that I'm going to implement the terms of reference to the matter.
This year's Hajj, we experienced a lot of problems, especially in the areas of payments. But we thank God that the majority of the pilgrims were able to meet up to the expectations. But I want the pilgrims who are here about to know that Hajj is one of the pillars of Islam, but Almighty Allah has clearly spelled out that it is compulsory for those who have the ability to do so. Therefore, gradually we have to reduce the quantum of money that is being spent on Hajj, which is very important.
That was the governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Zulum there. Elsewhere, two notorious drug kingpins, Uwazwoke Ikenna Christian and Agbo Chidike Prince, have been sentenced to life imprisonment following their arrest and prosecution by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, the NDLEA. The sentencing was disclosed in a statement by NDLEA spokesperson Femi Babafemi. Uwazwoke's journey to a life sentence began with his arrest in March 2022 at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja for ingesting 100 big wraps of cocaine. Now, despite being granted bail, he absconded and was later rearrested in August 2023 while attempting to export cocaine to India. Agbo Chidike Prince was arrested in October 2023 at the same airport for ingesting 49 wraps of cocaine. Both pleaded guilty to the charges leading to their convictions and life sentences. In addition to these arrests, NDLEA officers at the Lagos airport arrested Yahya Danjuma Otura for attempting to export 4,000 pills of tramadol to Italy. Jennifer Ilia was arrested in Bayelsa for producing and distributing cakes laced with drugs, while other suspects were apprehended across various states for drug-related offenses. NDLEA Chairman and Chief Executive Officer Brigadier General Muhammad Buba Marwa, retired, commended the officers for their diligent prosecution and intensified efforts in combating drug trafficking and abuse nationwide. You're watching the News Hour on Trust TV. Still to come. Roasted onions remain a popular delicacy for communities in keeping with traditional practices. This is, of course, other news after the break. Join us again. Thanks for staying with the News Hour on Trust TV. Now, a recap of our top stories again. Bandits raid Niger community days after military withdrawal. And tragedy strikes Borno Highway. 5 civilian JTF members feared dead, others wounded. To other stories now. The announcement of results by the Gombe State Independent Electoral Commission for the local government election has elicited mixed reactions. Now, the State Electoral Commission declared the ruling APC as the winner of all 11 council seats and 114 ward seats across the state. However, opposition parties in the state have accused the government of failing to provide election materials in many polling units. Trust TV's Hassan Koli has details.
The opposition parties have accused the state government of colluding with the state electoral body to deprive people of their civil rights during Saturday's local government polls. They criticized the process as undemocratic and pledged to take appropriate actions to reclaim what they consider as stolen mandates and restore the will of the people.
We heard from all our agents in different local government, different polling unit wards, everywhere. Nothing has been go to our local governments for the purpose of election, like material staff of the INEC and other things. We are going to take illegal actions because no matter how you want to be elected, to be as a elected somebody is going by vote. But very unfortunately, nothing has been done in terms of vote. And also through the local governments, they have been selected some areas or 1 or 2 polling units just to make as a playground, not for election.
The ruling APC has dismissed the accusations, stating that the allegations have no basis. They assert that the democratic process remains robust under their administration.
You see, the point issue is the election is going on, and the moment a material have not arrived, election will not be going on. You will see people sitting. But in this case, you see the women, men, young people are in the queue trying to take their turn. In essence, the election, the material have arrived on time, and then that's why the journalists are even here.
Political analysts contend that genuine elections rarely occur in local government, suggesting that governors primarily utilize the process to install their loyalists in their respective seats.
It's enshrined in the Constitution of Nigeria that there should be a local government election in each of the 36, including federal capital. But what we are seeing today is not election, rather is nomination by the respective governors of 36 states, which is undemocratic. The truth of the matter is, until and unless we have election being changed from State Independent Electoral Commission to National Electoral Commission, as it were when we started the Fourth Republic in 1999. That is when we are going to see, or we are going to see a sanity in local government elections.
In Nigeria, many governors face accusations of appointing local government chairpersons rather than facilitating credible elections which will promote functional democracy at the grassroots level. Hassan Lawan Koli, Trust TV News, Gombe.
And the People's Democratic Party has emerged victorious in all 33 local governments of Oyo State following the recent local government elections. The election results were declared by returning officers from each local government at the Oyo State Independent Electoral Commission office in Ibadan. Speaking to the press after the announcement, the OISEC chairman praised the residents of Oyo State for their cooperation during the electoral process and assured that any shortcomings identified would be addressed for future elections.
We want to appreciate you most profusely, those who contributed one way or the other to the success we have recorded. I must appreciate the Commissioner of Police of Oyo State for standing down before the election, during the election, and after the election. I must not forget the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps. They are always a very reliable partner. Thank you very much.
And still in politics, Governor Siminalayi Fubara of Rivers State asserted his commitment to govern with integrity and stand firmly for the welfare of the people during a condolence visit to former Governor Celestine Omehia in Ubima. He emphasized that his administration would prioritize initiatives that propel the state's development, emphasizing that those who genuinely care for the state must not contribute to its regression.
Anybody who claims he loves the state should not be party to anything, directly or indirectly, to bring us backward. We will continue to support every cause that will advance our dear state, River State. And I'm happy to say, I've said it over and over. It doesn't matter the number of people that are standing with me. I will stand on that side of truth. I will not, I repeat, govern our dear state on my knees. If that was the purpose, I will not do that. I will stand to govern our dear state.
To other developing stories, one person has been confirmed dead in a gas tanker explosion in Itausin, Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. The spokesperson of Ogun State Sector Command of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Florence Okpe, who disclosed this on the phone to our correspondent, said 4 vehicles were destroyed in the inferno. A gas tanker truck was said to have suffered brake failure after it lost control and hit the roadside culvert, after which it went up in flames, with the fire engulfing 4 other cars around the accident scene. Okpe said that the deceased was a motorboy of the gas-laden tanker truck. The tragic incident was said to have happened at about 5:30 p.m. along the Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway. Men of the Ogun State Fire Service, Federal Fire Service Department, Federal Road Safety Corps and security agents were said to have been on the ground to provide rescue operations.
At Toshi, live at Toshi roundabout.
Sights from the gas explosion there in Ogun State. Elsewhere, for many years, farmers have followed the tradition of consuming roasted onions while working on the farm. This tradition is believed to protect them from cold-related illnesses and also serves as a source of sustenance during the harvesting period. Interestingly, this practice has also become a customary meal in some households. Trust TV's Hassan Koli has more.
In numerous villages, farmers and agricultural workers have been roasting onions for consumption during the harvest season. In Wanka, a village situated a few kilometers from Cheledi, Kirfi local government area in Bauchi State, this tradition is prevalent among onion farmers. They have adopted this practice as a means to prevent hunger while laboring on distant farms. This tradition serves as our meal during our time working on the farm. The roasted onion has a delicious flavor, and we also prepare it in our homes. However, it is preferable to consume the roasted onion, as eating it raw may be harmful, particularly for individuals with asthma or ulcers. Therefore, we roast or cook it before eating, allowing us to sustain ourselves while continuing our work on the farm. I have personally followed this tradition for over a decade. The onion also protected farmers against cold-related illnesses.
Alhamdulillah, dafa albasan nan tana taimaka mana da hanyoyi masu ɗan dama.
We have greatly benefited from consuming onions. It serves as either a supplementary meal or a meal itself on many occasions. Additionally, it protects us from the cold, especially since we frequently work with and around water in onion farming. Furthermore, there is a belief among us that red onion contribute to enhancing the blood in our bodies.
Likitoci suna ce mana tana amfani ga ƙarin jini da lafiyan jiki.
Onions are popular vegetables used for culinary purposes and have become a highly sought-after commodity across the country.
To stories on the cost of living in Nigeria. Food, shelter and clothing are fundamental necessities for everyone's survival. When these essentials become inaccessible to the majority of a nation or state's residents, austerity measures become necessary. In Makurdi, residents are attributing the difficulty in accessing these basic needs to middlemen whom they accuse of hijacking the economy. Trust TV's Jimmy Adzande has more.
Makurdi residents continue to express lamentations regarding the availability of food, rising house rents, and increasing transportation fares, which are the three primary concerns affecting their daily lives.
Because of hardship that we are facing agony right now, passengers are not paying the price that we're supposed to be carried because of fuel increase of money. Fuel increase price. We are buying fuel at 800 naira price. And the same amount we are taking drop, they are not adding money. So that is another agony to provide food for our children. Become a very difficult situation. And even although there is so many difficult challenges we are having, house rent become a difficult to pay.
Residents are pointing out that the appreciation of the naira against the dollar has exacerbated the influence of market forces controlled by middlemen. These middlemen dictate both the prices producers receive for their goods and the prices consumers pay, revealing a system marked by dishonesty and lack of transparency.
Like the other day, I went to buy Indomie. Indomie that I used to buy 200 naira. It is now 800 or 1K, super pack or something. I was surprised. And then now that the dollar is down, we were thinking that the prices will go down too. But then we have not seen changes. I don't know what the government wants to do about the situation. I don't know if it is the government, but they were saying fuel too has gone up and all of that.
They argue that the government should intervene to regulate market activities, ensuring that prices reflect the current economic realities.
And the people selling the goods are benefiting out of this situation because the prices has gone. The prices of stocks have gone up, and they are selling it at high rates, collecting money from the masses.
Don't have any price mechanism, price control mechanism in place. Everybody sells the way he or she feels he wants to sell. And the normal trend has been that the moment price of goods and services go up in this country, it becomes difficult for them to come down.
The residents are hopeful that appropriate actions will be taken to alleviate the suffering of Nigerians who are yearning for relief from the ruling class at the federal, state and local government levels. Jimmy Azande, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
And the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, has emphasized that the National Assembly Joint Committee on Constitution Amendment will collaborate with all stakeholders to address the needs of Nigerians. Kalu, who chairs the House Committee on Constitution Review, made the statement during the joint retreat of the Secretariat and consultants to the Senate and House Committees on the Constitution Review. The Deputy Speaker urged stakeholders to revisit previous amendment proposals that were not passed or not assented to and to consider reintroducing them with modifications to address concerns that led to their rejection. He emphasized that constitutional alteration is an ongoing process that must involve all Nigerians to evolve a constitution that addresses long-standing issues such as state police and special seats for women. Additionally, Kalu promised to engage traditional rulers in the constitutional amendment process to gather their input. During visits to the Emir of Kano, Dr. Aminu Ado Bayero, and the Emir of Bichi Alhaji Nasir Ado, he highlighted the invaluable role of traditional institutions in shaping the country's laws. And the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Olayemi Cardoso, has called on the Nigeria Institute of Public Relations, NIPR, to partner with the Apex Bank in its concerted efforts to restore confidence in the fiscal system and attract investors who will contribute to boosting the country's economy for the overall good of the citizens. He said that as public relations shapes perceptions and tells Nigeria's story in a way that builds trust, attracts investments and fosters international partnerships. A strategic, focused, inclusive and comprehensive approach is required for public relations experts to drive economic and reputational transformation. Speaking in Abeokuta on the topic strengthening trust and communication, the role of public relations in Nigeria's economic development, Cardoso noted that the CBN has not only moved to guarantee price stability and control inflation to ensure that ordinary Nigerians' purchasing power is restored in the short to medium term, it has also intensified efforts to sanitize the banking sector. Cardoso, who said that the CBN has made deliberate efforts to emphasize the principles of transparency, accountability and compliance, added that the bank under his leadership has succeeded in stabilizing the Nigerian foreign exchange market. And President Bola Tinubu says his administration's decision to remove fuel subsidy was aimed at resetting Nigerian economy and saving it from bankruptcy. The Nigerian president bared his mind at the ongoing World Economic Forum in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, describing the subsidy removal as a difficult yet crucial decision for the country's economic stability. Trust TV's correspondent Kehinde Amudu reports.
The removal of fuel subsidy and exchange rate unification brought about a rise in commodity prices and increased hardship on the Nigerian people. Yet the Nigerian president is unapologetic because he sees the twin policies as necessary for the country's economic stability and crucial to the enhancement of the competitiveness of the naira.
The currency management was necessary equally to remove the artificial element of value in our currency. Let our local currency find its level and compete with the rest of the world currency and remove arbitrage, corruption, and opaqueness.
Acknowledging the challenges associated with the twin policies, President Tinubu says efforts are being made to cushion the impact on vulnerable parts of the population. But in implementing these efforts, he emphasizes the importance of accountability, transparency, and fiscal discipline.
The line, there is a parallel arrangement to really cushion the effect of the subsidy removal on the vulnerable population of the country. We share the pain across the board. We cannot but include those who are very vulnerable.
The panel discussion at the World Economic Forum focuses on global collaboration, growth and energy for development.
So Malaysia is again fortunate in a region that's possibly most peaceful in the world and the fastest growing economy. And we then, particularly Malaysia, now start focusing on issues.
Much and too little, but I want to end again on a note of optimism because it's a very propitious time for a lot of these technologies. Let's just try to capture them as best as possible.
The World Economic Forum special meeting will run over 2 days with a focus on finding solutions to a host of global challenges relating to humanitarian issues, the climate and the economy. Kehinde Amudu, Trust TV News.
Soundbites from the World Economic Forum holding on in Saudi Arabia. And away from Nigeria, a senior Hamas official informed AFP on Sunday that the group would present its response to Israel's latest counter-proposal for a Gaza ceasefire on Monday in Egypt, as mediators intensify efforts to reach a deal ahead of a potential Israeli assault on the southern city of Rafah. Earlier, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas warned that an attack on Rafah would constitute the biggest disaster in the history of the Palestinian people and suggested that only the United States could prevent it. On Saturday, Hamas released video footage showing 2 men held hostage in Gaza, offering their first proof of life in months. In the undated video, Omri Miran mentioned being held for 202 days, while Keith Sigel referenced the Easter Passover holiday, suggesting that footage was recent. And the UN Security Council has voiced serious apprehension regarding an impending assault on Al-Fashir in Sudan's North Darfur region by the Rapid Support Forces, RSF. This comes amid a year-long conflict between the Sudanese army and the RSF, resulting in extensive displacement. Al-Fashir remains the last major city in western Darfur not under RSF control, with the RSF and its allies having taken over 4 other state capitals in Darfur. The RSF has been accused of ethnically motivated killings and other atrocities in West Darfur. The Security Council urged the Sudanese armed forces and RSF to halt military build-up and work towards de-escalation. And the president of the Economic Community of West African States Commission, Dr. Omar Aliou Toure, has deployed an election observation mission of 40 observers to Togo to monitor the legislative and regional elections scheduled for 29 April 2024. A statement by the regional bloc on Sunday said the mission is in line with the provisions of Article 12 of the ECOWAS Supplementary Protocol on Democracy and Good Governance and constitutes support from the regional organization to its member states for the conduct of their elections. The mission is led by the former Vice President of the Gambia, Fatoumata Jallow Tembajang. The mission is made up of ambassadors from member states accredited to ECOWAS, representatives of the ECOWAS Court of Justice and Parliament, civil society organizations, media professionals, and election observation specialists from the West African region. And in sport, former Chelsea and Tottenham Hotspur manager Andre Villas-Boas has been elected president of Portuguese football giants FC Porto, ending the 42-year reign as Jorge Nuno Pinto da Costa. Villas-Boas, 46, obtained 21,489 votes to just 5,224 for his 86-year-old rival, who had won his previous 15 successive elections to head the Dragons. Villas-Boas enjoyed his most successful managerial spell at Porto. Villas-Boas promised during his campaign to hire former Spanish international goalkeeper Andoni Zubizarreta, who he came across while he was manager of Ligue 1 side Marseille as sporting director. He also pledged to install former Portuguese international defender Jorge Costa as head of the football department. Villas-Boas, it will be a new challenge for him, having retired from coaching to focus on the presidential campaign when his time at Marseille ended acrimoniously in 2021. And that wraps up the news hour on Trust TV. Do well to follow us across all of our social platforms and join our live stream on YouTube for more news programs and documentaries. I'm Sagir Ibrahim. Have a good night.